Alright, here we are again, and I've got this little box right here, and it is from Handheld Legend. So let's get in and see what we got here. We've got some cool stickers and a card. And if you haven't checked out Handheld Legend, it is an awesome website for retro parts for Game Boys of all different types, things like that. And we've got another sticker here. And what I have here is a replacement screen for the original Game Boy. Get this paper out of the way so it won't be rattling like crazy. It did come before, let's see, test before installation, once the LCD, blah, 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 may break. Okay, so basically test it. Don't try to rip it out after you put it in because the double stick tape will probably break the screen. So that's what this is. A lot of the original Game Boys, the Game Boy Pockets, things like that, the screens are all starting to have issues. If they don't have lines, they're going to have other things like basically kind of like screen rot almost, where the black is bleeding through. I'll show you an example here in just a second. This is what the kit comes with. This is really nice because if you have a Game Boy that's got a damaged screen and or the board for the screen, it comes with all this. So you can actually repair a Game Boy that's got a lot of damage. If somebody's been into it and messed up the front board or whatever, you don't even need that. It comes with this for the controllers and the screen itself. The screen is longer than the original screen, but that's okay because when it mounts in there, you will never see the bottom half. It is going to be the same size as the screen. The image, basically the image is just scaled to fit this top part. So that's how that works. We'll have to be really careful. It's got these little ribbon cables here. So we're going to be really careful with that. Set that aside. And I'm going to show the Game Boy that I'm going to be putting this in. And years ago, yes, it's painted and it's looking a little bit rough these days. This was a friend of mine's from when we were in middle school. We got the bright idea to paint our Game Boys because we couldn't get any of the cool ones that were in Nintendo Power. Remember Nintendo Power? They had all the different colored Game Boys and everything that you could win or whatever, and this is long before they came out with the solid colors and the clears and all that good stuff. And actually it looked really cool back in the day before. It actually has worn quite well, to be honest, because these things were used like crazy by us. I painted mine kind of the reverse of this one. But anyway, you can see on the screen here, it's kind of hard to get the right angle. There we go. There's this black around the corners here. And it's hard to see, but it goes all the way around the screen. And it's really a shame because this Game Boy, it works perfectly fine. Yeah, we got the bright idea of changing our power indicators to green instead of red too. That was just another thing. We were always messing with electronics. It's a shame because this screen works fine. There's no lines missing, but it's got these bad spots in here, which unfortunately is just going to get worse. And so I'm going to save it. The nice thing about this kit is I can save that whole entire board and keep it in case we ever do anything else with it. But unfortunately, I mean, these spots are just going to continue to get worse. So I'm going to get this kit and put it in there for him. Go ahead and take the game out here. I offered to replace the case for this Game Boy for him, but he said he wanted to keep it the way it was. just as a good memory from back in the day. Which at the Handheld Legend site, you can get all different types of cases, different colors. You can get different buttons and everything, and they're actually really good quality. Pop this thing apart here. We're going to pull the main ribbon out. Set that aside. And this is the nice part here. All we have to do is take this board out. Then the speaker will solder onto these connections here, and that will replace that entire front board. And this wheel will also give you the ability to change colors, brightness, contrast. Pretty nice kit. Once I get this board out, I can show you more of what the LCD looks like, and unfortunately how time has not been very nice to it. When I start thinking about how old these things are, it makes me feel old. They're knocking off the Game Boy. Alright, and actually the buttons are in very good shape on this Game Boy, so I'm going to leave those alone. We will need to trim out a couple pieces, this right here, that spot, and this one, to make the screen fit in, which is not really a big deal. Okay, now we can see all around the edge here. Let me get a pointer. All around the edge is this brownish black, and that is inside the screen. This happens to these older screens, and this was actually taken very good care of. He always had it in a little padded bag. It was always, put away in a drawer somewhere. Wasn't ever exposed to sunlight or left in a car or anything like that. It was always in a temperature controlled environment. So a lot of these things, it just happens over time. There's nothing that can be done to prevent it, and nothing to no way to fix it after it's done this, unfortunately. But that's just one of the downfalls of the older screens. So luckily there are replacements available, and that way we can continue to enjoy the old games. And actually, of course, the new one is backlit and everything. So that's another thing. I have a video that I want to put together and show where back in the day I actually made a backlit Game Boy, and this was probably in 1990, I'm guessing. But I'll have to make that and show it. It's pretty neat how I did it, but I'll get into that later. Alright, I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to get some cutters here so that I can snip these out. Okay. Just going to be real careful. These are semi-flush cutting. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the other board here and test this and make sure everything is good. And try to get this in here and then put it into the Game Boy side. There we go. Alright. Now I really just want to test the screen before I seal it all up inside the Game Boy. And I'm just going to put this in between so I won't short anything out while I'm testing it. Now this screen is going to go so that the blue is going to be on the back side of this here. There we go. it around here. Wow, look at that. Way different. This red marking, that's just on the screen protector. And we have different color palettes we can scroll through. And that's the brightness up and down. Looks like it gets pretty bright. The scaling on this looks very good. Okay, well, let's go ahead and power it down. Make sure that that was all good. And I'm going to carefully turn it back around. Undo that little tab there. And then I'm going to pull that loose. Set our Game Boy over here, and I'm just going to do a test alignment here. I think what I'll do is use some tape just to go across the back to hold it, and then that way I can actually test it, the alignment of it. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and double stick tape this board because I don't want it flopping all over the place while I'm trying to put it together. I'm just going to use this for temporary, just for alignment purposes, just to make sure everything looks good. Basically, once you stick it down, that's pretty much it. Looks like the board will fit in there pretty nice. Looks like it's misaligned just a little here, so we're going to have to go, let's see, over to this side just a little, maybe down just a hair, and that's why you don't want to just go ahead and stick it down without taking a good look at it first. And I do believe, if I remember seeing on their site, there was an alignment tool for these screens, but not for the version that I've got here. This is a new revision, and they did not have one for this particular revision yet. That's much better there. Looks like I could go over just a hair. Alright, what I'm going to do is just get this alignment where I want it. And I'm just going to mark it here. use the tape that they supplied here. I'm going to put some more Kapton tape on there to hold the sides. It definitely can't hurt. It's some pretty strong tape, so try to keep it from moving as much as I can. I'm just going to leave these pieces here. And if you want, you don't have to use the tape that came with it. You can use other types of double stick tape. It's just all preference. Alright, that should hold it pretty good. And let's not forget to solder the speaker back in. going to go ahead and pull the ribbon out of the back of the Game Boy there so I can get the screws back in. Looks like everything lines up really well. Looks like we got all the screws in there. This is the tricky part again. Alright, we got the ribbon back in there. I'm going to go ahead and close it up. Just in case you're wondering, there are a few leftover screws there. There is not as many screws in that circuit board as there is the old one, because 2 of those you have to cut off, and then there was a couple other ones that let's see, there's 4 left over, so there was 2 screw holes that weren't there, and then the other 2 was the ones that we took out. So, and the moment of truth. Wow, look at that. Oh wow, what a difference. Like, we can change the colors. I kind of like that white. That's kind of neat. Blue is a little too dark for me. The green's not bad. I kind of like that. That one there is kind of neat because it closely matches what the original screen was. Well, that is about it for this particular Game Boy. And I do have another. I got 2.
Utah, give me 2.
I had to get 2 because these things are so cool and look so good. And I've got such an abundance of Game Boy parts. Well, this, yeah, we don't need that. That's another completely bad screen. Here's another example of the how those screens do. It looks like somebody tried to fix this, and ugh. I'd gotten these in a box full of Game Boys for parts. Here's another one. Looks like the thing was damaged. There were some old batteries left in there or something. I got these for just random parts, but this one here actually is pretty clean, and the cases are messed up on these things, but that's not really a big deal because I do have some other cases, and I was thinking about taking this board. If this board works, I'm going to use that screen and make another one, and I already have a couple other cases I was going to put it in. So, well, I think that is it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. And I think that's about it for now. Thanks for watching.